Okay, we're going to do AI for 9-year-olds. My little nephew just turned 9 and I think he can do this. So let's start out by making a folder on our desktop called button. And this is just to organize stuff so we don't get lost. So right click right here in the middle of your folder. And I'm on a Microsoft Windows computer. If you're on an Apple computer, Apple stuff, I don't know how that stuff works. So you're gonna have to figure out, have your dad or mom help you out. So yeah, again, right click with your mouse button and we get this list, and down here it says new, and we want a new folder. And the name is highlighted right here called new folder, and we want to call it button because we're gonna make a button today. So P-U-T-T-O-N, button. There we go. And there it took. So we've just invented a folder called button, and that's just to help us keep things organized. If you want to change the name to something else, you can click on it once, click, it turns blue, and you can change it to your name, pen. There, so I changed the folder name to pen, and I'm going to turn it back to button. Click on it one more time, button, B-U-T-T-O-N. There. So now I just made a folder called button. I'm going to open that folder. Open. And your folder might open full size like this. You can go over in the corner, hit the box, and it'll shrink it down. And then you can grab these corners and make it different sizes if you want to. And I want it small. So here we have it. We have just opened the folder named button. It says button right here. It says button right here. And right here it says this folder is empty because we just made it. And I'm going to hide this folder over here underneath my mugshot. That way it's out of my way. Now I'm going to open a program called Notepad, because Notepad is a very simple text program that doesn't automatically add any formatting. And I have Notepad right here. It says Notepad. See that? You might not have Notepad down here on the bottom. So go over here to the bottom left corner of your computer, I think. And I have a magnifying glass here. It says search. You might have a little window box here. Click on that. And there it is. So now I type in Notepad because I want Notepad. N-O-T-E-P-A-D. Notepad. Okay, here's the app Notepad. So I'm going to open that. And again, we use Notepad because your other fancy editors add automatic formatting, and we don't want any of that extra automatic formatting. So there's Notepad. And I'm going to scoot that over here a little bit. Again, you can change the size by grabbing the edge. So when your arrow is right on the edge here, it turns into these double arrows, and you can change the size of it. I'm going to make it about that big. And now let's go out on the internet and go to chat. So here's Microsoft Edge down at the bottom. I got Internet Explorer down at the bottom, and I've got Chrome. I always use Chrome, so I'm going to click on Chrome. Open up the internet. And we're going to go to Chat GPT and use their AI. So let's go talk to chat. So chatgpt.com. Chat GPT. And it comes up and says, what can I help you with? And it says log on, sign up, or stay logged out. I'm just going to stay logged out. Okay. What can I help you with? Well, we're going to make a button. And we're going to make a button that turns on a light. So let's just say, make a green button that says light in HTML. So let's say, make a green button that says light in HTML. And we want to use HTML because the internet knows how to run this program. We're going to make a program in HTML, and we can run it on the internet. So let's do that. So hit the up arrow. And what does chat say? Oh, chat says, here is a simple HTML example of a green button that says light. Assuming you mean light, but misspelled it as light. Okay, so he corrected my spelling. If you intended it to be spelled wrong, if you spelled this way, let me know. So no, I'm glad he corrected me, so thanks for that. So chat just made all of this code to make a green button. And you can read the code here. It says green button. But I don't care how it wrote it. I'm just glad it wrote it. So now I want to copy all of this code just by click this little thing up here. It says copy code. Click. All right, check mark. It says copied. Okay, so now that we've copied it, let's go back to our notepad that we just opened. Click on that. So here it is. I'm going to right click with my mouse inside of here and it says paste. Because we just copied it from over here, now we're going to paste it. Boom. Here's all the code to make a green button that says light. So we just saved it to our notepad. So now I want to save this. I want to go File, Save As, and let's see, we were on our desktop right here. So see in the left column, we have our desktop because we made our button folders on the desktop. So let's go to desktop, and the very first one that shows up is our button folder. Let's double click that. Okay, now we're inside of our button folder. So you can see on the desktop, here's our button folder. There's nothing in here right now. Now let's save it as, let's change this. It says save as type. Do the drop down all files. And let's save it as button.html. Button.html. Again, all this code is written in HTML. So let's hit save. Save. And down here in my little window, my folder, it shows up. Button.html. And automatically it knows, it associates this little symbol right here is my Chrome Internet Explorer. So now if I click on this, it should open a web page with a green button on it. So let's click on it, double click. We have a web page with a green button. It says light. Okay, it doesn't do anything because we didn't tell chat to do anything yet, but I'm going to have it turn on a light here in a second. All right, so let's close this tab on the internet that it just opened because we don't need it open anymore. We just wanted to see that it worked, and it does work. We just wrote our first program. Our AI just wrote us our first web page button with a light button on it. So let's close it now. Okay, we're back on chatgpt.com right here. It has a down arrow, so hit the down arrow. Click. So now at the very bottom here, it says, let me know if you want it to perform an action when clicked. Oh, okay. Well, so in the area where it says ask anything right here, click in there. And we want it to do something. We want it to turn on a light. We want it to turn on a green light when clicked. Let's say that. Turn on a green light when clicked. Now hit the up arrow to tell chat what we want to do. Okay, chat, that's what we want to do. What does chat say? To make a green button that turns on a green light when clicked, you can simulate the light using a colored circle light bulb in HTML and JavaScript to turn on. That's great. So chat just wrote all the code to have our button turn on this light. So there's a light in here and everything. Again, let's hit click copy code up here. Copy code, so we just copied it. Now let's go down here at the bottom where we have our notepad program turned on. So click on that. Here's our notepad with the previous green button. Now we want to delete all this junk and start over. So hit Control A on your keyboard. Control and hold Control down and hit A. There it highlights everything, and now we can delete all this. So hit the delete button. Delete. Now we can right click, and it says paste. So we just copied our code from over here. So now we're going to hit paste. So now I just added a green button with a green light. So here's all our code. Go up here to File. Go again to Save As. It should remember where we were in our button folder, and it automatically remembers our last name, which was button HTML, and that's correct. So let's hit Save. Save. It's telling us, oh, button HTML already exists. Do you want to replace it? Well, yes, we do, because we just changed the program in that button code. So say yes. So boom, we just saved button HTML with new code, and we can see that because right here it says the time. The time is 12:14 p.m. and if I look at my clock down here, my clock says 12:14 p.m. So I just saved this button. So now let's double click button, and we should have a green button and a light. So double click. Hey, so now we have a green button and a light. So let's click this button and see if the light turns on. Click. It does. Click it again. Click, click, click. Well, it just turns the light on. So it did. So now if I hit refresh right here, so let's say refresh. Refresh. That turns the light back off for us. Now let's hit the light button again. Click. Light turned on. And your chat may have wrote this differently. Maybe when you're clicking your light button, it turns on and off. So chat may have made this toggle for you because your chat is different than my chat. So you could have done something different. All right, so let's close this. You've just written your first internet program with a button that turns the light on. Congratulations, and you used AI to do it. So let's close this. Close. I'm going to make 6 buttons and 6 lights. So I'm going to go down here and say add 5 more lights and buttons to toggle the lights. I want to toggle the lights on and off. So add 5 more buttons and let's add 5 more lights and buttons to toggle the lights. Add 5 more lights and buttons to toggle the lights. So now every time we click the button on these lights, we want to turn on and off. Hit our up arrow to tell chat what we want to do. Go. Great. Chat says, here's an updated version of the HTML code with 6 lights and 6 buttons, each toggling its corresponding light on and off. Awesome. So here's all the code that it wrote to do that. All of this stuff, it just wrote to do this. Now we just hit the copy button up here, copy the code, copy. It says it's copied. Now let's go down to our notepad. Notepad, click on that to open up this screen. Again, we click inside of here and we hit Control A to copy all. So hold the Control key down and hit A. Boom, we copy or highlighted it all. Now hit the Delete key on your keyboard. Delete. We deleted everything. Now take your mouse and right click and hit Paste. We just added all this code for 6 buttons and 6 lights. So now go up here to File, File, go Save, oops, sorry, File. If you move over, it changes. So go File, down, Save As. Okay, it remembered where we were. It remembered the name is button HTML. Hit Save. It says, do you want, it already exists. Do you want to replace it? Yes, because we just made new code. So say yes. All right, so it just updated our button code right here. Double click this. We should have 6 buttons and 6 lights. Click. Hey, 6 buttons, 6 lights. Now, again, your chat, he's a different chat. He may have put the buttons, the lights and buttons across up here. But he writes, each one of us, he's going to write the code differently for all of us. So let's hit the light 1. Hey, the light turned on. Let's hit light 1 again. The light turned off. Awesome. Light on, light off. Light on, light off. Light on, light off. Light on, on. And there you have it. You've made your first internet program with 6 buttons and 6 lights using artificial intelligence. Congratulations.